Hello, welcome to the second video on Whom Seek Ye, and today we begin chapter 2, which is about the Christian faith. And the first two sections we're going to be looking at are concerned with the simple fact of a thing called belief. Now, you'll see first of all that we suggest that you read and make sure you you've looked at very carefully the three creeds that the Anglican Catholic Church hold to. And they are the Nicene Creed, which is I think the most central and most universal, most Catholic of creeds. And the reason I say that is because it is held to be fundamental, certainly by the Eastern Orthodox Church and certainly by the Roman Catholic Church, and certainly it used to be the case with the Church of England. It used to be the go-to creed. It was said at the Mass. Very important, that. And it's a statement of what the Church believes. There are two other creeds that are less universal, and what I mean by that is that they are regarded, particularly in the Eastern churches, as being statements of faith, certainly, but they are not a product of the councils, these coming together of bishops from all over the place. So these are the Apostles' Creed, which is a rather short creed, and the so-called Athanasian Creed, which is much longer. So if you've got yourself a Book of Common Prayer, look at them, find them, look at them, and understand what they're trying to say, because they are very, very thorough. You might find the Athanasian Creed rather heavy going at the moment. That's okay. Just read it. That's the whole thing. You read that now, and we'll come on to the nitty-gritty of it a bit later, perhaps. You'll get some idea of what it's saying. So once you've had a look at those creeds, and you've sort of thought them through, had a look at them, we're going to spending some time looking at them in detail. What I would want to look at now is actually the first couple of words. In the Greek and in the Latin, we say, "we believe." Well, sorry, not in the Latin. In the Greek we certainly say "we believe." In the Latin we say "I believe." Credo, I believe. Pisteuomen, we believe. What we have to focus on is, why is there a difference between I believe and we believe? Well, we believe as a church. That's the faith of the church. That's why the church fathers wrote that down in the creed, we believe. But we also have to believe it as individuals. So it's this interplay between us and you, singular and plural, all the time. You are part of the church, and the church is a part of you. That's how it needs to be. Now let's look at this little word, believe. Now, this is an interesting word, because the word believe, the English word that we use, is actually, we inherit from the Anglo-Saxons, and you sort of can sense it when you realise it's, if you've heard the German phrase, "Ich liebe dich," Liebe, I believe, beliebe. It's to hold something beloved. It's to cherish something. It's to hold fast to it. And that translates the Greek pistio very, very nicely, because that is a firm conviction. And this is where we often have a little bit of a problem with people who try and make science opposed to faith, because there's belief in science. For example, I could pick up this clock. Now, what happens when I drop it? Well, I guess we'll never know. So what do you expect would happen? Well, you have a good belief about what would happen, don't you? It's going to fall. I don't want to drop it because it's actually quite a nice little clock. But it's nothing to do with sort of believing in fairies, as some atheists would say. That's a perfectly reasonable belief to have, that if you drop something, it will fall. And that's a belief. Since I've not dropped it, you can't know. But we have a jolly good idea. So scientists work on faith all the time. They believe that the laws that they have describe the world accurately, and by good fact that it works quite nicely. Science seems to work very nicely on that, but based upon this belief that the laws of physics now will be the same as the laws of physics in a couple of seconds' time. It is a reasonable belief to hold, don't you think? The same is true for Christians. We have a reasonable faith, as William Lane Craig will say. We have a reasonable faith. It's not belief in fairies, but it is a belief based on solid reasons. We have good grounds for believing in God, and we have good grounds for believing what the creeds say. And so it is important for you to be thinking about what you believe, what things you almost sort of take for granted will happen. So such as dropping something, watching it fall. Very basic belief. But there's also a belief in your friends, that something you can trust. If you were to say, God forbid, that you should lose your house, is there a friend you can trust? Well, there is a sense of believing in a friend, isn't there? So, again, that's something else, the way we use the word. That there's something we hold dear. That there's something we find to be absolutely fundamental, that while we have no proof, we have at least good grounds to hold the belief that we do. And this is what we have to do as Christians. We have to have a good belief. We have a good grounds for our belief. Do we? Yes, we do. And that's what we're going to be exploring. So as you look at these next two little sections, I believe, and the creeds, good chance for you to sort of reflect upon what you do actually hold very dear. Next time we're going to come on to that first sentence, I believe in one God. And again, you're going to have to start thinking about, well, what is it that we actually do believe? But I'm going to leave that one with you. So God bless you as you try and work out what you hold so dear, what you take for granted, what things are so fundamental. God bless you as you try and work out your convictions. And God bless you that He may reveal Himself as someone you can believe in. God bless you, and please, as always, pray for me.